Welcome to today's video, a crucial guide for every senior who wants to stay healthy, sharp, and active for years to come. Today, we'll explore the foods you should avoid if you're over 60, especially if you want to prevent heart disease, diabetes, and memory loss. Hello, I'm Dr. Benjamin Carter, a board-certified geriatric nutrition specialist with over 30 years of experience in senior care. I've worked with thousands of older adults through clinical practice, research, and public health education. I've seen firsthand how the right food choices can slow aging, boost mental clarity, and prevent common chronic diseases like heart disease, type 2 diabetes, and cognitive decline. Today, I'll walk you through the most common foods harming seniors' health, and more importantly, what to eat instead. First, processed foods and fast food. Let's begin with one of the biggest threats to senior health: processed foods and fast food. These include everyday items like hot dogs, fried chicken, French fries, instant noodles, frozen pizzas, canned meats, and microwave dinners. They may be quick, cheap, and tasty, but they come at a heavy cost to your heart, brain, and overall well-being. Why are they harmful? Let's break it down. 1. Loaded with trans fats and saturated fats. These fats raise LDL, bad cholesterol, and lower HDL, good cholesterol, leading to clogged arteries and increased risk of heart attacks and stroke. The National Institute on Aging warns that trans fats, often found in fried and processed foods, increase systemic inflammation, a key contributor to Alzheimer's disease. 2. High in sodium. Excess sodium causes the body to retain fluid, raising blood pressure and straining the heart and kidneys. A diet high in sodium is directly linked to hypertension, which is known as the silent killer among seniors because it often has no early symptoms. 3. Low in nutrients, high in empty calories. These foods provide very little in terms of vitamins, minerals, fiber, or antioxidants. They often displace healthier options like vegetables, legumes, and whole grains from the diet. 4th, may worsen brain health. Diets heavy in processed food have been linked to faster cognitive decline. One study from Rush University found that seniors who frequently consumed fast food and processed meals were more than twice as likely to develop memory loss over time. Real-life example. One of my patients, Mr. Harold, a 72-year-old retired mechanic, loved grabbing burgers and fries from a fast food joint near his home, sometimes 4 or 5 times a week. After he suffered a minor stroke, we looked into his eating habits. His sodium levels were off the charts, and his LDL cholesterol was dangerously high. Over the next 6 months, we worked together to reduce his fast food intake, introduced simple home-cooked meals, and added more fresh produce. The results were life-changing. His cholesterol dropped by 40 points, his blood pressure stabilized, and for the first time in years, he told me he could climb stairs without losing his breath. 2nd, sugary foods and sweetened beverages. Let's talk about something that's hiding in plain sight: refined sugar. For seniors, sugar isn't just about gaining a few pounds. It's one of the most dangerous and silent contributors to serious chronic diseases, including type 2 diabetes, heart disease, obesity, and even Alzheimer's disease, often referred to as type 3 diabetes by some researchers. What do we mean by refined sugar? Refined sugar includes white sugar, high fructose corn syrup, brown sugar, often just white sugar with molasses, added sugars in processed and packaged foods. You'll find these in sodas and soft drinks, sweetened teas or coffees, candy, cakes and cookies, fruit-flavored yogurts and granola bars, breakfast cereals, ketchup, salad dressings, and sauces. Case example, A Patient's Journey. Mrs. Linda, 68, loved her morning pastries and afternoon soda. When I first met her, she had pre-diabetes, experienced frequent energy crashes, and had trouble recalling simple words in conversation. After we reduced her added sugar intake and replaced it with whole fruits, green tea, and complex carbs, her blood sugar stabilized. Within 3 months, her mental clarity improved, her energy returned, and she even began walking 30 minutes a day again. Third, processed meats. Processed meats are one of the most dangerous foods for seniors, yet they're often part of everyday meals. Ham sandwiches, bacon at breakfast, hot dogs at picnics, and sausages with dinner all seem harmless, but they could be slowly damaging your health. What are processed meats? Processed meats are meats that have been preserved by smoking, curing, salting, or adding chemical preservatives. These include bacon, ham, sausages, hot dogs, salami, and bologna, canned meats like Spam, beef jerky, and luncheon meats. They're often high in sodium, saturated fat, and preservatives, including nitrates and nitrites, which are added for color, shelf life, and flavor. Real-life story. A wake-up call. One of my patients, a 67-year-old retired teacher, was shocked when she was diagnosed with early-stage colorectal cancer. She'd eaten deli sandwiches almost every day for lunch. She told me she thought turkey slices and ham were light and healthy. After surgery and treatment, she made a full recovery and became an advocate for plant-based eating. Now she teaches other seniors to read labels and avoid hidden dangers. Fourth, high-sodium foods. Salt is essential to life, but too much of it, especially from processed foods, can be a hidden killer. For seniors, the danger isn't always what you taste. It's what you don't see on the label. Where is all the sodium coming from? It's not just the salt shaker. In fact, over 70% of sodium in the average diet comes from packaged and processed foods, not from salt added during cooking. Here are the top hidden sources of sodium in a senior's daily diet. Canned soups and broths, often 700 to 1,200 milligrams per serving. Instant noodles and flavor packets, up to 1,800 milligrams per pack. Frozen dinners and TV meals, 800 to 1,500 milligrams per tray. Pickled vegetables and condiments, especially soy sauce and ketchup. Breads, bagels, and wraps. Some contain 250 to 400 milligrams per slice or piece. Cheese and deli meats, high in both sodium and saturated fats. Snack foods like chips, crackers, and salted nuts. Real case. Example, sodium and blood pressure. I remember a patient, Mrs. Kim, who had been eating canned soup every day for lunch. Her blood pressure was 165/95, dangerously high. She didn't realize each soup bowl had over 1,000 milligrams of sodium. We swapped her lunch to a low-sodium homemade vegetable stew with brown rice. 3 months later, her blood pressure dropped to 128/82 without changing her medication dosage. Fifth, refined carbohydrates. Refined carbohydrates are foods that have been stripped of their natural fiber and nutrients. They may be filling, but they're not fulfilling. For seniors especially, eating too many refined carbs can lead to a cascade of health problems, including diabetes, belly fat, and memory loss. What are refined carbohydrates? Refined carbs are grains and sugars that have been highly processed, removing their bran and germ, the parts that contain fiber, vitamins, and minerals. Common refined carbs include white bread and white sandwich rolls, white rice, sugary breakfast cereals, e.g. cornflakes, frosted flakes, pastries, cakes, donuts, cookies and crackers, pizza crust, pasta, and instant noodles made from white flour, bagels, croissants, and even some low-fiber wraps. Real-life patient example, Mr. George, 70, was frustrated that his belly was growing even though he wasn't overeating. After reviewing his meals, we discovered his typical day included toast in the morning, white rice at lunch, and pasta for dinner. By switching to whole grains and high-fiber vegetables, he lost 12 pounds in 3 months. His fasting blood sugar improved, and his mental focus returned. Sixth, saturated and trans fats. Let's talk about something many seniors consume every day without realizing the risks: saturated fats and trans fats. These unhealthy fats may make food taste rich and comforting, but over time they can quietly and steadily damage your heart, blood vessels, and even your brain function. Why are these fats dangerous for seniors? 1. Raise LDL, bad cholesterol. Saturated and trans fats increase low-density lipoprotein, LDL cholesterol, which clogs arteries and increases the risk of atherosclerosis. 2. Lower HDL, good cholesterol. Trans fats not only raise LDL, but lower high-density lipoprotein, HDL, the good cholesterol that helps clean out arteries. 3. Promote inflammation. Chronic inflammation is a root cause of many age-related diseases, including heart disease, arthritis, diabetes, and cognitive decline. 4. Increase risk of heart attack and stroke. A high-fat diet, especially with trans fats, leads to thicker blood, less elastic arteries, and greater chance of clot formation. 5. Harm brain health. A 2019 study from the American Heart Association showed that seniors with higher trans fat levels in their blood had significantly higher rates of dementia and memory decline. Real patient story: a heart scare at 68. One of my patients, Mr. Paul, age 68, loved buttery biscuits for breakfast and fried chicken several nights a week. His cholesterol was over 250, and he experienced mild angina. After we adjusted his fat intake, swapping butter for olive oil, reducing red meat, and introducing more omega-3s, his cholesterol dropped by 45 points in 3 months. More importantly, his chest pain stopped, and he was able to reduce one of his medications. Conclusion and final advice. Good nutrition is the foundation of a long and healthy life. By avoiding these harmful foods, you're giving your body a chance to thrive, not just survive. You don't have to change everything overnight. Start small. Replace one bad habit each week with a healthier one. Your future self will thank you. Final tips. Stay hydrated. Eat more fiber-rich vegetables. Visit your doctor for regular health screenings. Practice mindful eating. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with a loved one who needs to hear it. Stay healthy, stay strong, and we'll see you in the next video.